Mitsubishi Evolution, Tommi Mäkinen edition. It's an old car now, this, and they're at risk of turning into ornaments. But regardless of that, I'm still going to hammer it and see what it's all about. It's got a brave owner, I'll give it to him. We're going to get him in on the video just to give him a bit of credit for this.
You want to throw an ankle out or something, didn't you?
Tommi Mäkinen. Question is, can we do him proud? So these cars were produced between 2000 and 2002. They made 2,500 of them, so they're becoming incredibly rare now. So if you can get one of these, it's a good investment, probably better than Bitcoin. So the Tommi Mäkinen edition did the 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and topped out at 150 miles an hour. Uses a 5-speed manual gearbox, which uses your control, no, not your control, your control. So basically it just sends power to any independent wheel that needs the power, which is the most traction. So the Evo, it is very bland in here. I mean, you've got the special edition seats, which are nice, really nice place to sit in. But the actual overall interior, I mean, everything works like it should, but it is very bland. Ashtray in the back of there. I don't condone smoking, it's bad for you, don't smoke it. The back seats are really comfy. It really reminds me of the Impreza in the back. I'm trying to resuscitate the seat, bring them back to life. I don't know, but they're like incredibly soft. You just sink into them. What's this? Oh, well, there we go. When I was talking about the interior being bland, it's all been changed now because we got this. Now we're living the life. Okay, offline, very good traction immediately. For an old four-wheel drive system, definitely does well. The chassis is well sorted. Good feel to the chassis. There's movement in the chassis, but it's gonna have movement. It's based off the Tarmac stage of the rally circuit. Definitely that old school JDM feel to it. You've got to remember, this car's 20 years old. So this would have blew people's mind back in the day. You know, it's got a lot of ability for an old car. Okay, all right. Breaking loose a bit. The turning's very good. Mid-corner, quite neutral. It feels like it's braking away front to rear pretty evenly. A lot of feel, really. I think the spring rate's just at the point where it's soft enough to allow it to lean on the throttle more on the exit. For a 20-year-old monster, it's got performance. I like the way it rolls and pitches because you actually get more grip. Definitely has a torque ready feel to it though. It's a ready, kind of good to hammer it kind of feel. I'd say about these cars as well, with a new car like a AMG A45 we did the other day on the channel, which you can see down there. Brilliant car, but you haven't quite got the same authenticity to what you have with something like this. It's just got a different feel. It can't really be described until you get in and drive it, but very different feel to it. Tommi Mäkinen edition. It's a very distinctive Evo. Kind of been beefed up everywhere and it's got that aggressive stance to it. It's a little bit lower than the standard Evos as well. We've got all like the livery here. And at the back we've got Tommi Mäkinen edition and all that business. Adjustable rear wing piece. Even on the front splitter here we've got holes where aero is like a little tunnel under there. It sends air to specific places. This is a pretty purpose-built car, and we've also got a cold air intake for the filter as well. At the heart of the Evo is the famous 4G63 engine, which is known to be extremely durable and extremely tunable as well. We ain't really got a huge amount of modifications here. We've got a couple of breather mods in the exhaust, and the boost has been turned up a bit, and we've got a different dump valve, a turbo smart one. Obviously the big old intercooler sat here, and if you just come slightly this way, you can see ducting that leads to the oil cooler as well, and that's paramount when you start hammering these things. You need an oil cooler. It's got good boost. The engine's very responsive. Different delivery of power compared to like the Subaru. So it's meant to be 276 horsepower and 275 foot-pounds of torque, but this one's definitely got a little bit more than that. Throttle's balanced. There's a big one when I get to a lot of cars with a cable throttle. It's like usually saggy and moving about, but this, it's pretty urgent. Really climbed up the rev range really smooth. The turbo in this car come with a titanium wheel, so it helps it spool up faster and minimise lag. Got the window open because this car's just a mobile sauna. Let's do a 0 to not 100 because obviously I'll be breaking the speed limit. Let's do a 0 to 20, yeah? Let's do that. 1463, baby! That's Evo, baby! Subscribe, people. We've got 50% off. Well, to be fair, it's free anyway, so I mean that's really good value. It just needs a freshen up, but you can feel that rally heritage in there. The owner's brave letting me use this car because these cars are worth a lot of money now. You know, you could pick one of these up 10 years ago for next to nothing, and now they ain't cheap.
We're using a Goodyear Eagle F1 tyre and Brembo brakes front and rear.
Brakes are a little bit weak to say the least. We've got a lot of juddering through the pedal, which is due to the disc. The disc and pad are not very good on this. The pads are better than the disc, but the pads are still poor. They're not even in category of sugary treat anymore. I feel like I'm having an epileptic fit.
I've had this car now, what, 10 years. I've always had performance cars, and you know, I ended up having a couple of 4 Subarus in the end,
Okay.
which I did enjoy. But I went to a show once, and I remember at this show, this Tommi Mäkinen, red Tommi Mäkinen turned up.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, that's going to be my next car.
You gotta have it, yeah.
And I've got to have one. You know, I don't know why. I just, you know, and then one came along, right time, and I say, not look back. It's probably the best car I've ever had.
God, that sounds good. Sounds really good, don't it? Especially that window down.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
See, I don't appreciate it because I don't ever drive it like this.
Don't load it up,
Something
yeah.
like yourself properly driving this car.
Definitely a capable machine, though.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm just cautious of the brakes.
Well, I was to throw an anchor out or something. This is what it's all about.
This is
what it's all
Tarmac
about.
stage of the rally.
This is what it's all about.
Greatness in life isn't easily stumbled upon. It's usually forged by sheer will, and things that come to you easily never of the same value. Once you've looked every devil in the eye, make sure you stop every now and again and check that you haven't become one. You make the wrong decision in life and there's no going back. Life can expire in an instant, so if you don't respect that, you might want to start doing so. Look around at the people that you hold dear and value them, because as soon as you start living life on this level, it becomes incredibly fragile. Look, I know there's people out there watching this that are incredibly desperate. They're sick to death of their routine and they want change so badly. They're pleading for change. But you've got to understand or come to the realization that potentially nobody's listening. Sometimes you just have to do certain things yourself. And the truth is, there's never going to be an easy or correct time for you to change things. I just don't want you looking back on your life and wondering, why didn't I act? If you want something to change, now is the time to act. So what is the Evo then? It's proof that time waits for nothing. Tommi Mäkinen had a huge amount of courage. We've changed, we've evolved, technology and engineering has come forward so far, but the Evo still manages to cling on. It still manages to boil your blood. That's proof of how good it really is.
Load up or go on. Step out of the way. Thanks very much for coming on the channel, something that shows your Evo 6.
Yeah, thanks, it's been a pleasure. Thanks. New set of tyres next week as well, I think, do you?
I think that'll be alright. I think that'll hold up. I think.